Hey there, welcome. We all have a feeling about how our work is going, right? A kind of gut sense. But what if we could go way beyond that? What if we could turn that vague feeling into a deep, evidence based understanding of our own practice? Okay, let's dive in and see how we can transform that raw data into some real professional insight.
We have all said this. I mean, who hasn't? You finish a project, you wrap up a presentation, you walk out of a classroom and you think to yourself, yeah, I think that went pretty well. And look, that's a totally normal, casual thought. It's our gut feeling, our first impression. But it's really just the starting line.
Okay, now compare that first thought to this one. See the difference? This is not just a feeling. This is an analysis. It's this powerful mix of hard evidence from what we did combined with a vision for what could be based on solid research. This is the journey we're talking about today, bridging that gap from what is to what could be.
So let's really break these two ways of thinking down, because understanding the difference between that casual gut feeling and a truly systematic, data-driven reflection is, and I mean this, absolutely crucial if you want any kind of meaningful professional growth.
So over here on the left, you've got your casual reflection. It's that gut feeling. It's subjective, it's based on an impression, and it's pretty much a straight line. You have the thought and you move on. But then you look over to the right. This is where the real growth happens. Systematic reflection isn't a one-and-done thing. It's a cycle. It's built on a foundation of hard evidence, it's connected to established knowledge, and it constantly feeds back on itself to make you better. All right, so how do we make that leap? How do we get from the left column to the right column? Well, you're going to need the right tools. I want you to think of these next three things as your professional toolkit, the gear that lets us practice really rigorous reflection. First up in the toolkit, data triangulation. This is your evidence anchor. Instead of just relying on one observation, you use 2 or 3 or more data points. Why? Because a single data point can lie to you. For example, if you only looked at test scores, you might think a lesson failed. But if you also had observational data showing students were super engaged, you get a much more honest picture. Using multiple angles keeps us honest. Next up, the deep literature review. Just think of existing research as a giant mirror. You hold it up to what you're doing to see how it compares. And this is not just some boring academic exercise. It's about seeing what's actually possible, what other smart people have already figured out, and using all that knowledge to frame your own work and spark brand new ideas. And finally, maybe my favorite tool, collaborative inquiry. Because hey, you do not have to do this alone. Bouncing your ideas off trusted colleagues, maybe in something like a teacher collaboration time, adds this crucial layer of critical feedback. Your peers can see your blind spots, they can challenge your assumptions, and that is absolutely essential for making sure your conclusions are solid. Okay, so we've got our tools, right? We have data, we have theory, and we have our colleagues. Now let's look at how they all fit into the machine, the dynamic process that actually powers our growth. Let's look at the engine of insight. Real professional growth isn't a straight line from A to B. It's more like this, a continuous upward spiral. We plan something new, we act on it, we observe what happens, and then, this is the key, we reflect on it. And every single loop builds on the last one, taking us to a higher and higher level of understanding. Now, let's zoom in on the most critical part of this entire cycle, the reflect phase. This is that moment where we hit pause and we take a really deep look under the hood, analyzing everything that just went down. This is where the magic happens. And how do we take that deeper look? We pull out our toolkit. This is where it all comes together. We bring our triangulated data to the table, we look at it through the lens of all that research we did, and then we hash it out with our peers to get that complete 360-degree picture. And here is the most crucial point of all. When you bring these three things together, they don't just sit next to each other, they synthesize. Your data, the theory, and the feedback from your colleagues, they all merge together and boom, you get that light bulb moment, that aha moment. That is the birth of a genuine new understanding. But that new insight, that's not the finish line. Not even close. It's the fuel. That light bulb moment is what propels you forward, pushing you into the next, higher and more informed loop of the spiral. You take what you just learned and you use it to plan your next move, even better than before. So, what's the end game here? What's the ultimate outcome of all this systematic effort? Where does this whole cycle of rigorous reflection actually lead? Let's talk about how to ignite your next step. The result is nothing short of transformative. By doing this again and again, we move way past just being competent at our jobs. We become the architects of our own growth. We develop this deep, evidence-based understanding of what we do and why. And that, my friends, is the path to true professional mastery. I absolutely love this final thought. Reflection isn't just about looking backwards. It's the identify phase for what you're going to do next. It's the process that makes sure that candle of learning never, ever goes out. It keeps our growth going, forever. And that brings it all back to you. I want to leave you with this question. Think about your own work right now. What is one of those gut feelings you have that you could turn into a real systematic investigation? What new insights are waiting for you if you just apply this toolkit to your own practice?